Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Igor and I live in Japan. Or do I? Or did I maybe just make the whole Japan thing up and bought all those Japanese things behind me to create an illusion of me living in Japan, but in reality I do not, and I live somewhere in Scotland. Nobody knows. So actually today outside there is like a huge typhoon, so I'm kind of forced to stay at home, and I thought to myself that I want to try something new this time, and this is like, let's call it story time, because there are just so many things happening in Japan since I came here, since I started to live here, that I want to kind of like keep it on video and just have it for myself also, to just look back in 5 or 10 years and be like, oh my god, you really have been through this shit. Because to be honest, like, so many like crazy things are happening that I kind of start to forget them, so this is my way to archive them. So yeah, today our story will be connected with this little card, which is a names card of Yumi, number 79, a girls bar host. And this is like one of the craziest stories that I've been through in the last year. I think I will start with first explaining what a girls bar is. Probably many of you already know what girls bar are. Those are like places where men go to talk to girls. It's a paid service, so it's not like a bar where like guys and girls meet. Like as a guy you go, you pay a shitload of money and you spend like a few hours with a girl sitting next to you, drinking and like talking. And this is actually nothing, like this has nothing to do with prostitution or anything similar. It's really just like sitting next to each other and talking, and like the guy is buying drinks for the host and for himself. For a really long time I couldn't grasp the idea of girls bars, but I kind of started to understand it. I've watched a lot of documentaries about this topic on Netflix and YouTube. For Japanese people, it's kind of like a way to socialize with other people, with like, of course, cute girls. On the one hand, it's kind of like a therapy thing for Japanese people, because they usually go there and they start to talk about their wives, their kids, what's like annoying them in their life. On the other hand, it's also kind of like a way to escape all those problems, just being for like 2 hours, 3 hours next to a beautiful girl who basically does everything what you want, except like for sexual things. She will compliment you, she will tell you how handsome you are, she will like ask you about your job and tell you that you're doing great in your job and stuff. Like it's kind of like pushing your ego. So it's a weird concept, and yeah, it's kind of difficult to like break it down into 2 minutes. So if you're interested in girls bars, then there is a lot of resources on the internet about those places that explain it much better than I do. But yeah, just for the story, it's important to know that it's a place where Japanese guys usually go to meet cute girls and talk to them. So the story begins on a Sunday evening. I was going back from meeting my friends, and I was passing my regular bar. It's a craft beer place where I usually go when I have nothing to do. I already know the locals and like the owners, and it's kind of like, yeah, a place where I usually meet my friends. This evening I was like passing my regular bar, and I saw through the window that my friend Teppei, who you may know from one of the previous videos where we drank beer, he was there. He was alone with the owners, and I was like, okay, like I want to like say hello and drink only one beer. And this was like really what I planned, because next day I had to work. It was already kind of like late, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have one beer and go home. So I went into the bar, said hello to everything, ordered one beer. We started to talk. It was like only the four of us, the owner with his wife, Teppei and me. Everything looked like it would be just like a regular day as always. At some point I just ordered my second beer because it was really nice atmosphere. I thought that I will stay just like a little bit longer, and just when I was like half through with the second beer, two guys came. Two guys that I never met before, and I never met after this. The owner's wife was like, hey, this is my cousin, like, he's really cool, like, talk to him. And then we started to talk. Teppei knew those guys from before already, and we kind of started to talk, and I have no idea how, but at some point we came to the point where we started to talk about girls bars. They were like, "Oh, have you ever been to a girls bar?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not really into this concept." And I started to tell them that like I don't think it's appealing to pay for a girl to be nice to you basically and talk to you like all those nice things. It's more appealing for me if I know that there is no money involved, no money that like would make the person want to talk to me. And they were like, but no. This is like something completely different. You have to try ghost bars. And I was like, no, I don't want to. They were like, no, really. Ghost bar is the shit and you have to try it. And I was like, maybe one day, but like, I really don't feel like going into ghost bars at all. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna go to a ghost bar right now. And I was like, nah, nah, I don't want to pay for this. Because of course, ghost bar are very expensive. So like yeah, they were like, you don't have to pay, we just got bonuses and we will invite you. A short disclaimer, bonuses, in Japan there's a bonus system which most companies follow. It's kind of an illusion because the bonus system gives you a big amount of money twice a year. Usually it's winter and summer, like I don't know exactly the months. Depending on the company and on your own position in the company and how good the company did this year, you get like 3, 5, 6, 7 times your salary in bonuses twice a year, so you get like a huge amount of money at once. Which is kind of like an illusion because apparently like the salaries in the companies where you get bonuses are lower than companies without bonuses, so in the end like both get the same money, but if you have the bonus you just get like a big portion of it at once, while the other person gets just like higher salary every month. Anyway, so like they were like, we just got the bonus, we're gonna invite you. And I was like, I really don't know. And then Tepe told me like, no, let's go. I was like, okay, just for Tepe, because like he's like one of my best friends here, so I kind of wanted to do this for him because he looked hyped, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna go for a half hour. At this point I didn't believe that they will pay for the whole thing, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay there for a half hour, and like in the worst case I'm gonna pay whatever and then just go home. We finished the drinks, I paid at the bar, we went out, we went to the ghost bar. Like first of all, the ghost bar inside looked very strange. It was just like a place taken out of an 80s movie, like Miami Vice kind of movie, with like blue neons and those like specific sofas and stuff. Like I don't know how to explain this, but it's like if you watch any kind of like 80s Miami movie, then it's gonna be probably like this. Like for the gamers among us, it gave me like the feeling of being in GTA Vice City. We got seated, a sofa kind of thing, and it was a girl here, Tepe, another girl, me, another girl, one of the guys that I met, another girl, the second guy. So we were just sitting there, and like all of us got the girl. The girls that we got like assigned were talking to us. We ordered 2 nihonshu bottles with water, so basically like the girls shouldn't get too drunk because they have to work, right? So even if they drink, they shouldn't get like wasted on the first client. Usually in the girls bars, the girls are making drinks, because this is also kind of like part of a Japanese culture that always the girl pours the drinks for the guy, never the other side around. For the guys, the drink was like 50-50, 50% nihonshu, 50% water, or like even stronger. And the girls were like drinking 10% of nihonshu and 90% of water, which was hilarious, but I guess the guys don't care. They just go there to get wasted and talk to beautiful girls. So yeah, we had the kanpai all together and then started to talk with the girls next to us. In my case, it was Yumi-chan. I started to talk to Yumi, and it happened that she is half Japanese, half Filipino. Yumi read the air very fast, understanding that I'm not really into the whole "Oh, you're so handsome. Oh my god. Oh, your job is so amazing" thing. So she kind of opened up and started to talk with me like about her feelings and like her situation, especially because like she was the only one in the whole bar that spoke English, so nobody could understand her and me. There were also no consequences for her for like talking maybe about things that she shouldn't talk about. I kind of feel we've been talking a lot and she opened a lot, and this was actually like super interesting for me. A super interesting experience to talk with a girl host in a girls bar about like her experiences, and she explained to me that she's not really enjoying the work there and that she is actually thinking about quitting the job because it's kind of like she has to deal with a lot of creeps. Obviously, it's kind of difficult with her university and then like really late working hours. She got into the job because of a friend of her who introduced her to the company, but actually her friend left soon after this. It's really good money being a host, but at the same time, all the other things are too negative for her to stay. But since the money's really good and then it's not like too much work, yeah, she was like struggling a lot if she should stay being a host or if she should actually quit being a host. At some point she gave me this little name card. Then there's like a line ID on this, and line is basically the WhatsApp of Japan. So she gave me the card and I was like, hey, there's your line ID. Is it your like real line ID or not? And she was like, no, 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 it's not my real ID. I have a second phone only for my customers. And I was like, whoa, cool. And she was like, yeah, I turn it on like once or twice a day, even if I don't work, and reply to all the messages that I get from them. And I was like, hey, so what are they actually like writing you? Because it's kind of like interesting, right? You meet those people only maybe once or like a few times in your life, and then they're kind of like trying to message you. And she was like, yeah, so basically they are asking me for dates. They are like inviting me for fancy lunches. They are trying to like build up a relationship outside of this like customer host relation we have. And I'm like, so are you taking those invitations? And she was like, no, not at all. I'm always like bullshitting them that I don't have time, that I have to work, or that I have school or whatever, and I'm just telling them to come and see me in the girls bar. And I was like, so are they coming? And she was like, yeah, they're coming just to see me. And I was like, whoa. So apparently this opened my eyes a bit about how the whole thing works as well, because they kind of like give the guys the feeling that they might have a chance with her, but she's shifting everything back to the post customer relationship they have, for them to like come back and pay just to see her and try harder to like meet with her outside of work, but it never happens, right? And at some point the guys became with ordered 2 bottles of champagne, and I was like, wait, okay, like maybe it's time to go, because like I still didn't believe that they will pay for me. And I mean, like, I know exactly what those things cost in those places. I don't want to like spend half of my salary just on like talking to a girl. It was kind of like difficult to get out of there alone, so I stayed. So we continued drinking the champagne, and the girls were, of course, like, they were popping the champagnes for us, and like they were pouring us the champagne, and I heard how handsome I am, just to bring me to like drink more and order more, of course. Yumi apologized. She told me that she has to go because it's the end of her shift. So we said goodbye, and they gave me another girl, a Japanese girl. I didn't enjoy this anymore because like she had this super annoying host attitude that, like, I don't know, if I would just like tell her about my poop in the morning, she would be like, oh my god, oh, that must have been a super good poop, and oh, I can imagine that your poop is as beautiful as you are. So I kind of stopped enjoying this, and yeah, I was trolling her by asking her those. The typical questions are like, oh, what Japanese food is your favorite, and like, how long have you been in Japan? So at one point I was like, hey, how long have you been in Japan? And she was like, my whole life. And I'm like, oh, really? That's cool. This was like the rest of the night for me. Soon after this, the guys decided they will, like, that they have to go. It was around the last train, maybe. I think we stayed for 2 hours inside of this place. And I was like, okay, it's time to pay. The guys told Tepe and me to just like leave and wait for them outside, and actually they paid for us. I had a look at the prices there because they're usually outside of the building, like written. And for one person, I think 30 minutes was like 4,000 yen. So it makes like something around like 15,000, 16,000 yen per person for only being inside. And yeah, we were like the four of us, so it's already like what, 60,000 yen, $600. And then they ordered a lot of alcohol, like the champagnes and like the nihonshu and everything. So I believe they ended up paying 20,000 yen, 20,000 something yen per person, which is like $200 plus per person. And I was like, what the fuck, we spent like 2 hours inside. I just met those guys for the first time. I just talked with them for a half hour before we went there, and they like spending 200 something dollars for me just to like talk to a girl. And it still blows my mind. And this is actually like very common in Japan, that like people who have money invite you for stuff like this, even if they don't know you, especially if you're a foreigner, and they kind of want to show you their culture and like show you what they enjoy like doing. Kind of feel bad that I didn't enjoy this as much as they did, because yeah, it's a lot of money. I would never ever pay for anyone so much money just to like show them what I enjoy, right? It's like more than $200 spent on nothing, on completely nothing. And this blows my mind up to until today. And I'm really grateful, even though I didn't enjoy it. I'm really grateful because at least I made this experience. So I hope you enjoyed my story, and if yes, then leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next episode. Thank you very much, and until the next time, じゃあね。